Hey everybody, welcome to today's workout. It's a cold, rainy day here in Chicago, so I thought how better to spend the day than to stay indoors and do a hip mobility workout. Now, in today's workout, we're going to do some big movements through our hips, we're going to do some stretching, and we're going to do some pushing, some pulling, things like that. Before we begin our workout, I want to remind you that this workout, just like any other workout, should feel good. In these workouts, we should never feel any kind of pains or stabbing feelings or burning or zapping, zinging, pinching, things of that feeling. If you ever do get those, just stop doing the movement or do what ranges of motion are comfortable within the movement for you. That whole no pain, no gain thing, it's old. It's not worth it. This is a workout for you to feel good. We're not introducing that negativity today. So if we could, to get things started, all we're going to do is begin on our backs. Lying on our backs, knees are going to begin up, hands can just rest on your chest, and all we're going to do is breathe. Then from there, we'll let our knees fall side to side as we loosen up through the low back and through the trunk. Don't worry about going quickly, just take the pace that feels comfortable for you. Okay, and from there, we'll bring ourselves up to the tabletop position. Our tabletop position, this is where we'll be on our hands and knees. Hands into the ground, knees into the ground. Knees will just be about 5 inches apart or so. And we'll take our feet, pull them apart from each other. Bring them back in. Pull them apart, and then bring them back in. From the other angle, pull your feet apart, bring them back in. As you do this, you should feel the muscles on the sides of your hips working to pull your feet to the sides. Remember, this movement, just like any other movement, should be pain-free and it should feel good. Okay, very nice. Now from here, keeping your hands wide, we're going to extend one leg straight back, and now we're going to try to take this foot and swing it in. Swing it in. And in. From the other side. Okay, and then we'll switch to our other side. Same position, extend the opposite leg back, and we're rotating. Good. So now we're going to go onto our backs. Extending one leg straight out, we're going to bring our opposite knee up. And from this position, what we're going to try to do, while keep your knee pointing straight up toward the ceiling, is rotate your foot out, rotate your foot in, rotate out, rotate in. Again, just as if we're trying to move this upper leg bone. The knee always stays pointing straight up as best you can keep it. Feel the muscles on the outside of your hip, feel the muscles on the inside of your hip. They should be working to rotate that leg in its socket. Switching to our other side, same thing. Knee's going to start straight up toward the ceiling. We're going to rotate out, rotate in, rotate outward, rotate inward. Knee staying straight up. Good. Then we're going to bring ourselves to our side. Lying on your side, your head can rest on your arm, and we'll bring our top arm out in front of us for balance. Doing our best not to roll our hips forward or roll your hips back. We're going to try to keep our hips stacked, one on top of the other. And then from here, we're going to pull our knee up toward our chest, out to the side. Here's the tricky part. Keep your knee where it is. We're going to try to rotate our foot backward and then push your knee back around behind your body. Again, we're going to pull our knee up toward our chests, out to our sides, rotate your foot backward, and push your knee back around behind you. You can imagine what we're doing this is drawing out the biggest circle possible with your hip joint. Continuing on. Up, out, the subtle rotation, and a push back around behind you. Up, out, rotate, push back around. One more time. Up, out, rotate, take it around behind. Good. Now from there, we'll switch to our other side. Same thing over here. Your head can rest on your arm. We'll bring this arm out here for some balance. Keeping our hips stacked one on top of the other. We're going to bring our knee up, out. We're going to try to rotate and then reach behind. Up, out, rotate, and reach behind. Last one. Very good. And we'll bring ourselves up to the seated position. So, Moving forward, we're going to get a little more dynamic with our hips here. We're going to try to bring our hips into this 90-90 position. Easiest way for me to get there is, say, start in the butterfly position. Extend your legs straight out, and then take that same foot and hook it around behind you. Now, from here, what we just need to do is tidy ourselves up so that your front knee is at 90 degrees and your back knee is at 90 degrees. From here, we're going to take our hands, we're just going to place them behind us. Doing your best here, working through pain-free ranges of motion, we're going to lift up both of our knees, rock along our hips, and take ourselves to the other side. So now we're at 90 and 90 over this way. Same thing, rocking back to the first side, supporting with your hands behind you, going back and forth. No rush, work slowly, do what feels right for you. Okay. Rocking back to the first side now. Let's pause. Take your hand from behind you, sit up tall, and let's try to lean forward over your front knee. So think about bringing your nose far forward, not just collapsing through your back, but sitting straight up tall. We're going to try to reach our nose forward, find stretch through the back of your hip on this side. It's my left foot, my left leg, feeling stretch in the back of that hip. Okay. Coming back to the middle, hands behind you. We're now going to flip-flop to the other side. Sitting up tall once again, we're going to try to bring our nose pushing over our knee. Not collapsing, but sitting up tall. Again, feel stretch in the back of your hip. Good. And we'll swing back around to our first side one more time. Okay, at our first side, we're going to bring our hands out in front of us now, or toward our front leg, I should say. Now my left hand is into the ground over here, my right hand is into the ground over here. If you need to lean more to your left side or even to your elbow, that's okay. We're all going to be at different levels here. Some people can sit up fine without any use of their hands, but just know that you can take as much support as you need from your hand, your elbow, or whatever it takes today. Sitting up tall as we can, all we're going to try to do in this position is push your knee and your foot into the floor. Can you apply some pressure, just a little easy pressure pushing down into the ground? Most of us probably can. Maybe it's a little bit funny to coordinate how to push that down, but we can create some force downward. That's good. Now, I want you to take your hands, walk them backward so that you're leaning back now towards your opposite hip. And can you lift that foot up? Good. Let's rock ourselves forward again. Again, not rolling at our back, but sitting up tall. Can you push that leg into the ground? Good. Now, instead of rocking backward, holding the same position, can you try to lift up your foot and your knee? Try, and try. I can't do it. But I can feel the muscles on the inside of my leg working to try to lift it. When we lean forward, we're just putting ourselves at a more disadvantageous position to lift, and that's okay. That's what we're trying to do today. So keep in mind that if your leg doesn't move, it's not the end of the world. We just want to feel the muscles working. So now, what I'd like to do in this workout is I want to do a little stretch where we're going to set up in the same tall position, rock yourself forward, and then find stretch in the back of your hip. This is my left leg. I want to feel stretch in the back of my left hip. So we're going to hold this stretch for 2 minutes today. Now, if 2 minutes becomes a little bit too intense for you, you can back off at any time or come out of it. 2 minutes is a lot to ask for if you haven't done this before. But we'll start our timer. And we're just going to hang out, find a stretch. Again, in the back of your hip of your front leg. Holding our stretch, let's find our breath, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Continuing with your breath, we have about 30 more seconds of this stretch. In this time, I want to talk through what we're going to do next. While maintaining the same position, what we're going to do is attempt to push your knee and foot down into the floor. And we're going to hold this for about 15 seconds. Then we're going to try to lift your knee and foot up off of the floor. Remember, trying being the operative word. Now, if you've never done this before, I only want you to push down with 50% maximum intensity. And then we're going to try to pull up with 15% maximum intensity. If you have done this before, you can try it a little bit harder, 60%, 70%, 80%. If you've done this a lot, you can go 90% or 100%. But if this is new to you, let's just do 50%. Starting now, we're going to take our knee and foot, push down into the ground, maybe 50% of your own effort for 15 seconds. We've only got 10 left. 5, 4, 3. Next, we're going to bring our knee and foot and try to lift. Let's do it now for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax your body, but hold your position. See if you can sink a little bit deeper into your stretch forward. Remember, not giving up your back, but just trying to reach your nose forward. Okay, very good. Now let's sit ourselves up tall. Slowly bring yourself down to your right side. On our right side, our head's going to rest on our arm, and our opposite arm's out here for some balance. And we're going to come back to that same drill we did earlier, where we pull our knee up toward our chest, out to the side, rotate, and then kick around behind you. Let's do 3 of these together. Pulling your knee up to your chest, out to the side, kicking your foot behind, then reaching your knee back and around. Up, out, reach around behind. One more time. Up, out, rotating, and kicking behind. Very good. And then we're going to switch it to our other side. So we'll come up to that seated position once again. In our seated position, we're going to start in this butterfly. And then we're going to extend our opposite leg straight out. So for me, it's my left leg. And then we're going to hook that leg around back behind you. Now we'll tidy ourselves up so that we're in this 90 position. Both knees about 90 degrees. Over here, you can lean onto your hand. You have your opposite hand here. Totally fine. Sitting up tall, I want you to lean forward and find a little stretch in the back of your hip as we did earlier. Okay. Now in this position, can you try to push your foot and knee down into the floor? Good, most of us can. Now let's walk our hands back. Lean yourself back. Can you lift your foot and your knee up? Many of us can. Maybe it doesn't lift up, and that's okay. But can you feel the muscles on the inside of your leg trying to lift that up? That's what matters. So again, let's lean forward. Try to push down. Now maintain your position. Try to pull up. Try. I can't do it, and that's okay. What matters is the attempt and to feel those muscles working. Okay, so now we're going to expand on that. We're going to do our stretch again, 2 minutes. Then we're going to do our push down and then our pull up. Remember, if you've done these before, if you and I have worked together and we've done this, you can up your intensity, maybe 60%, 70%, and so on. But if this is your first time, just keep it at 50% maximum. Okay, so sitting up tall, we're going to try to bring ourselves over that front knee, and we're going to stretch that hip for 2 minutes. Find the muscles on the back of your front hip. Find your breath. In through your nose and out through your mouth. About halfway through our stretch, 1 minute left. Okay, now coming to our front leg, let's take our foot and our knee. We're going to try to push down into the ground with 50% intensity for 15 seconds. Let's try it. Pushing down now. Push. 5, 4, 3. Next, we're going to try pull up. 2, 1. Try to lift your foot. Try to lift your knee for 15, 14. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax your body and see if you can sink a little bit deeper into your stretch. Very good. Slowly bring yourself down to your left side. On our left side, your head can rest on your arm. Hand can come out here for some balance. We're try to have our hips stacked as best we can. And then from this position, we're going to bring our knee up toward our chest, out to the side, rotate your foot behind you, and then push your knee back, around, and behind. So let's do 3 more of these. Point your knee up toward your chest, out to the side, kick your foot backward, rotate around behind. Okay, 1 more repetition. Coming up, out, rotate, and then reach behind. And then from there, we'll bring ourselves to our backs. With knees up again, just like the way we started our workout, let's find our breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And then from there, we'll let knees fall to one side, bring them back through the middle, and then fall to the other side, continuing with your breath. We'll take a couple minutes here to close off our workout. Bring our knees back to the middle. And we'll take 3 more breaths in and out through your nose. Then we'll bring ourselves up. Okay, I hope that workout helps your hips feel a little bit looser, a little more mobile, and just gives you just what you wanted today. Nice work, everybody.